So you got to know. You got to have the information. Okay. Now, where do we get ideas and information that can help transform our life? Let's go through the information. Just take these notes. Here's number one, PE, personal experience. That's one way to pick up ideas from your own personal experience. One way to learn to do it right is what? Do it wrong. Now, the key is don't let it take too long. If you've done it wrong 10 years, we suggest that's long enough. We don't suggest 10 more years just to prove a point. No. If you're broke at the end of 10 years, couldn't we evaluate that? Yeah. I meet Mr. Schoaf. I've been working 6 years. He said, Mr. Rohn, you've been working 6 years. How are you doing? I said, not very well. He said, I suggest you not do that anymore. Are you going to go another 6? Wouldn't you like the next 6 to be totally different than the last 6? And I said, yes, sir. Then he said, we're going to find out, first of all, where you've messed up. We're going to change that so that the next 6 are totally different than the last 6. And the reason human beings can do that is because they're human beings. Not a goose, not a spider, not an alligator. Human beings can tear up the last 6 and develop a whole brand new 6. Anytime you want to. I did it. I did it. Farm boy from Idaho, raised in obscurity. There's anybody in this room that can't do it. So, number one, learn from your own experience. Here's number 2, OPE. Just jot that down. Other people's experiences. That's why I'm here. I'm one of these other people. If I come along and share with you, no telling what I might save you from. You got to listen to other people. Save you a bankruptcy. Listen to somebody. Save you a divorce. Listen to somebody. Save you loss of a friendship. Okay? Listen to somebody. Save you a tragedy. Save you from falling out of the sky. Save you from a cardiovascular disaster. Save you. So other people can be so valuable. Now, the other people are divided into 2 categories. Here they are. Number 1, failures. You got to listen to the failures. It's too bad failures don't give seminars. I'm telling you, it'd be valuable. A guy that's messed up his life for 40 years. You just got to say, John, would you spend a day with me? I'll bring my journal. Take excellent notes. Tell me. Good-looking guy like you, got a beautiful family, every reason for doing well, threw it all away. Tell me how you messed up. I'll take the notes. So here's the clue. Learn from negative as well as positive. Learn from failure as well as success. That's why the Bible is such a good book. I'm an amateur, but I'm telling you, it's a good book. Why? It's got a list of stories on both sides of the ledger, human stories. One list of human stories in the Bible is called examples. Do what these people did. Look how it worked out. And the other list is what? Warnings. Warnings. Don't do what these clods did. It's disaster. What a good book with 2 sets of stories on the positive and the negative side. So learn from failure as well as success. In our leadership series we teach, find out what poor people read and don't read it. Gosh, this stuff's easy to learn. Find out how they talk and what? Don't talk that way. Find out the language they use and don't use it. Find out what they blame and get you a different list. I'm telling you. Learn from failure. Learn from tragedy. Okay, now here's the other side. Learn from success. People that have got something going of value that you could learn from. Whatever the value is. A mother who has magic with her children. Wouldn't you want to know? Of course. You say, Mary, would you meet me tomorrow morning for breakfast? Neat little cafe. You won't believe the service. I'll pick up the tab. She says, okay. She meets you tomorrow morning for breakfast. You say, Mary, I got to know, where did you get this magic with your children? She says, well, to be honest with you, up until 3 years ago, my kids were out of control. And then I read this book. I went to this class, and they gave me a little 1, 2, 3 program. And I've been using that now the last 3 years, and that's how come I got this magic with my children. Would that be a valuable breakfast? Would you pick up the tab? Of course. Here's what can save you so much heartache and put you on the road to wealth and power and success, and that is picking up the information from other people. Now, here's part of how you do it. Number 1, observe, watch what's going on. Some people are doing it right, and what? Some people are messing it up. Just watch what's happening during the day. Watch what's going on. Here's a good phrase to keep in mind the rest of the 90s, getting ready for Century 21. Pay attention. Don't just stagger through the day. In leadership, we discuss, most people are just trying to get through the day. Here's what wise people learn to do. Get from the day. Learn some lessons before the day is over by just watching what's going on. Here's number 2, and that is to listen. You've got to become a good listener. Now, it is challenging, listening well. Here's why. So many voices want our attention. How do you sort through all the voices today? I'm telling you, it's a challenge. Radio voices and television voices and religious voices and advertising voices and commercial voices, family voices, community voices, political voices, voices of all kinds. How do you sort through all that and not waste your time on voices that don't count? I'm telling you, it's a challenge. But you got to do like tuning in your radio. Tune out the static and tune out the shallow and tune out the silly. Find a voice of value, stay for a while. Keep tuning, find a voice of value, stay for a while. That's the clue. On Sunday morning, we ask you to come and what? Stay for a while. Listen to a voice of value. We ask you to come to a seminar and what? Stay for a while. That's why we put some of this stuff on cassette tape, so you can stay for a while. When your hands are busy and your mind is free, turn your car into a mobile classroom and just stay for a while listening to someone that has something valuable to share. So, here's what we've got to teach our children in the 90s, parents. Here it is, the skill of selective listening. Don't spend most of your time on voices that don't count. Going to add too little worth to your future. Don't waste your time on the shallow and the silly. A lot of that going on in California. Shallow and the silly. I'm in Kansas City the other day. They haven't heard about these affirmations and all that stuff going on here in California. I mean, California is part weird, right? California. I told them in Kansas City, I said, some people in California are rubbing crystals to try to be successful. You wouldn't believe it. Some are what? Sleeping under pyramids. I mean, California is part weird. Affirmations. Multi-track. Subliminal. Bombard your pre-conscious, subconscious. Deprogram you, reprogram you. I mean, ocean waves and seagulls yet. I mean, you know, weird stuff that hasn't gotten to Kansas City. I mean, you know, California. Unbelievable. I said, you know, some Californians are moving to Sedona, Arizona, where all these force fields are supposed to come together. And if you rub a crystal and sleep under a pyramid in Sedona, right, then change your life for the better. But hey, forget all that. When I talk to teenagers in my lectures, colleges, high schools, they're so happy to know they don't have to move to Sedona, right? Become rich and powerful and sophisticated and healthy and influential. So don't fool with that stuff. We don't have to teach our teenagers how to channel, find a 2,000-year-old guru. We don't have to do that. I'm telling you, it's too easy to get rich. Don't have to fool with the silly stuff. Right? Some of that's dangerous anyway. Kids are afraid of it, right? So don't fool with that. You'll be out on a limb with Shirley if you fool with too much of that stuff. Anyway. No, do whatever you want. It's up to you. You wanted my point of view, so you got it. But yeah, you don't have to walk on fire. I'm telling you, you don't. You don't have to do something spectacular. There's some simple, easy, basic reasons why people like I, at age 25, am broke. Not destitute, but broke. Pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, way behind on my big mouth promises, not doing well, wondering what went wrong. It's too easy to figure out what went wrong. And then it's too easy to change it, to fool with all the spooky nonsense that's going on today. So just pass on all that. Just some good, basic, fundamental, solid stuff that kids can understand, right? Kids don't need their own private psychic, you know, to try to help them figure out the future. This stuff's too easy. Getting rich is too easy. I got rich by the time I was 31. Here's the best advice I give my teenage friends. It was easy. What can I tell you? It was hard? No, it was easy. I'm a millionaire by 31. Let me tell you how I did it. I got 3 reasons why I got rich by the time I was 31. Let me give you those. Here's number 1. I lived in America. I mean, how lucky can you get? America's easy. That's why everybody wants to come here. People haven't plotted and schemed for 50 years saying if I could just get to Poland, everything would be okay. No. No. The boat people are not desperately trying to get to Vietnam. No. They're not squeezing through the fence to try to get into Mexico. No. Neil Diamond says, looks like everybody's heading for. They're all coming to America. Why? Everybody wants to come here. By every means possible to get here. Why? Because America's easy. So if you go home with anything, go home with that. Mr. Rohn reminded us that America's easy. He got rich by the time he was 31. America's easy. Bangladesh is hard. Just take that home. Here's the average yearly income in Bangladesh, $120. That would be hard. Tell me hard versus easy. So America's easy. Cambodia would be hard. The Khmer Rouge killed 2 million Cambodians to make communism work. That's hard. America is easy. India would be hard. They got their challenges these days. Tough. America's easy. China would be really hard. Underline really and make a study. It's hard. America's easy. And now, in about 90 days, you can have that memorized. I'm telling you, that's all you need. I got rich by the time I was 31. I lived in America. America's easy. Now, here's number 2. I found an opportunity. That's all you got to do in America, search for an opportunity. Take the first one, right, try it. If that isn't it leads to another. One door closes, another door opens. This is what's exciting about America. It's full of opportunity. A chance to try, and then what? Try again, and then what? Try again, never run out of opportunity to try. See if you can't better your life and your health and your future and your bank account and your income. Make your fortune here. I lived in America, number 1, found an opportunity, number 3. Number 2, here's number 3. I found a teacher. What a grand and glorious, unique thing that was for me at that time in my life. I found a teacher willing to teach me. And his teaching came in 2 parts. Here's what it was. Very simple. Number 1, Mr. Rohn, you have evidently messed up between ages 19 and 25. Now, I could understand that. But he didn't leave me there. He said, now here's the answers on how to change it all, the next 6 years, so that the next 6 years won't be like the last 6. What an incredible teacher. Taught me how to have a whole brand new 6 years. First 6, what? I messed up. Second 6, what? I got it right. Second 6 years, I became a millionaire. During that second 6 years, the government was about the same. I'm telling you. Interest rates were about what? The same. The pay scale was about what? The same. Lord knows my negative relatives were the same. Circumstances were about the same. The economy was about the same. The unions and their philosophy was about the same. What was going on around me was about the same. Then how come I got rich that second 6 years? I was not the same. I changed. You say, well, Mr. Rohn, if you can do that, can anybody do it? Yes, I invite you on that journey. Anytime you want to. You can stay the same so that the next 6 years will be like the last 6. Take a look at the last 6 years. You can stay the same so that the next 6 years will be like the last 6. Take a look at the last 6 years. And I'm telling you, the next 6 years of your life is going to be like the last 6. Unless you change. Or unless you want to count on this short list that we call not much list. Most everybody's counting on this not much list. What if all of your negative relatives turn positive? What would that do for your future and your fortune? What? Not much. Not much. What if prices came down a little? What will that do for your future? I'm telling you, not much. If the economy gets a little better, what will that do? Not much. Now that the Democrats are in power, what's that going to do for your future? Not much. We could get a good debate going here. If the Republicans would have stayed in power, what would that have done? Not much. Hey, we could get a good debate going here. I'm telling you, it's a not much list. If you don't make plans of your own, guess what? You'll probably always fit into someone else's plans. Guess what someone else may have planned for you? Then what's going to make the difference? You're going to have to make the difference. You're going to have to take charge. Now, Mr. Schoaf, my teacher, gave me a promise, and I want to give you that promise now on this November day, 1992, Anaheim, California. Here was the promise I got, and I bring it to you. Here's what my teacher said. If you will change, Mr. Rohn, he said, if you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change the government. You don't have to change prices. You don't have to change taxes. Forget all that. He said, if you will change, everything will change for you. And the first thing you start changing is what? Your philosophy. You start changing your mind. You start changing how you think. You start picking up new ideas and information. Gather new knowledge. Make better decisions about what's valuable. And I'm telling you, if you'll do that, your whole life will change. Your health will change. Your relationship with your family will change. Your ability to cope with challenges and problems will change. I'm telling you, income, promotions, all of it will change. If you will change, it'll all change. If you won't change, it isn't going to change. You can keep your fingers crossed if you want to and hope they'll straighten it out. You can wish for the wind not to blow quite as severe, but I'm telling you, wishing for the wind to change in your favor, we call naive at best. Don't do this any longer. Wish for a better wind. The key is to wish for the wisdom to set a better sail. Utilize whatever wind it blows to take you wherever you want to go. That is the philosophy I picked up at age 25, and it revolutionized my whole life. And here's what I found. I found it was easy. I got rich by the time I was 31, and it was easy. Now, here's my definition of easy. Got to jot this down. My definition of easy, meaning something I could do. I figure if it's something you can do, it's easy. Now, here's a parenthesis. Parenthesis. I worked hard at it. I found something I could do, which was easy, but I worked hard at it. I got up early and stayed up late, worked hard that 6 years. But what I did was easy, meaning it was something I could do. You say, well, Mr. Rohn, if it was so easy, how come everybody else around you during that 6 years, how come they didn't get rich? Here's why. It's easy not to. How else would you describe it? That's it. You say, no. For all of the rest of them, it was hard for them and it was easy for you. That's not true. You couldn't debate me on that in front of this intelligent audience. But here's the challenge. Let me give it to you in a philosophical phrase. I tend to be a little philosophical. Here it is. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. That's the difference between success and failure. So you've got the choice here today of one of two easies. Easy to or what? Easy not to. I can give you in one sentence how I got rich by the time I was 31. Here it is in one sentence. I did not neglect to do the easy things I could do every day for 6 years. Underline. I did not neglect. That's the key. I found something easy I could do that led to fortune, and I did not neglect to do it. Major reason for not having everything you want in America. Major reason for not having more of what you want in America. More health, more money, more power, more influence, more everything. Major reason why you don't get it. Simple answer. Neglect. Neglect. And here's the problem with neglect. It starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. And here's what else is the problem. One neglect leads to another. Neglect to do wise things with your money, you'll probably neglect to do wise things with your time. Neglect to do wise things with your time, you'll probably neglect to do wise things with your business. One leads to another, leads to another. Pretty soon, neglect has you by the throat, emptying your purse, emptying your heart, emptying all of your chances for equities and power and all the good things. Neglect. What if you should be walking around the block every day for your good health and you don't? I'm telling you, you're on the wrong track. You should do it, you could do it, you don't do it. That's called formula for disaster. All you've got to do is let that and a few other things accumulate for 6 years, and now you're driving what you don't want to drive, wearing what you don't want to wear, living where you don't want to live, doing what you don't want to do, maybe having become what you really didn't want to become. I'm telling you, that's it. Just neglect along, drift along, and it's got you by the throat. It'll take all your values, leave you with just a little bit of dust in a summer wind, and it'll soon be gone. I hope I said that well. That's it. It's where I found myself at age 25 until my teacher came along and said, Mr. Rohn, up till now you've messed up. Let's see if we can't clean that up, change it all. I did. Changed my life. Not just the money, all the rest of the values that came pouring in. When I understood that it was me. It was me. So take the easy approach. This stuff's easy to figure out. Getting rich is easy. I teach it to teenagers. How to be rich by 40, 35 if you're extra bright. This stuff is not difficult. A lot of it's going to be in my new book for the kids. Kids should pay taxes. I love to teach kids enterprise. Profits are better than wages. Wages make you a living. Profits make you a fortune. We can teach kids profits. I teach kids enterprise, all kinds. I teach kids how to have two bicycles, one to ride and one to rent. I mean, it doesn't take long to get into business if you're halfway bright. And I teach them the philosophy, the difference between communism and capitalism. All teenagers ought to appreciate the difference between communism and capitalism. For the last 75 years, communism taught capital belongs in the hands of the state, not in the hands of the people. For all these years, we've taught what? Ridiculous. Capital belongs in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the state. Communism taught, no. Individual people are too dumb and stupid to know what to do with capital. So you've got to take capital away from all the dumb, stupid people and give it to the all-wise, all-knowing state. And let the state run everything, and let the dumb, stupid people show up for their work assignment. That was communism. No wonder they devastated everything they touched. But finally the walls came tumbling down. Communism taught, all glory to the state, the individual doesn't matter. We've taught all these years what? It's the individual that matters. Let the state be the servant of the individuals, not the individuals the servant of the state. What a difference in what? Philosophy.